Hey guys, so today is moving day. I have been working in this makeshift office for, I don't know, quite some time now, 3-4 months. And I sort of tossed up a few things where I'm going to put my new office, and I was sort of tossing it up while we were in lockdown. And I've decided to go back to my old office and just make it a bit nicer. So sort of make it more of an office. And that's many different reasons in another video. But more importantly, while I was packing everything up and sort of making myself ready, I realized that I had a really cool sort of backpack that had everything in it that I needed for data center work. So I do a lot of cloud stuff, so Microsoft Azure, 365, all that sort of stuff. But I also do a lot of the more traditional sort of physical racking and stacking at data centers and configuring and doing Nutanix deployments and VMware deployments and all those sort of things. So I have this cool little backpack that has everything in it that you would need at a data center, or that I would need at a data center. And I thought, oh, that's actually a pretty good thing to share. Maybe people might be interested in what you should sort of have with you, or what I think is necessary when you go to a data center, what might make your life a bit easier when you're there. So I've got it all on display. I've got no one controlling the camera, so bear with me. I'm going to show you guys everything, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's a good idea to have it. So first thing is laptop. The lighting is doing a really good job at making me look like a grub with all the fingerprints all over this laptop. But of course, you're going to need a laptop, and you're probably going to need a charger for that laptop, which I have here. Now, these are all basic things, but what you might know is if you work at a data center, you don't always have this. This is an Australian plug because I'm in Australia, but you don't always have these type of plugs in your data center or your data room, depending where you're working. Been caught out a lot of times by having nowhere to charge my laptop or nowhere to charge my phone or whatever when I'm at a data center or a data room. So I also have a bunch of these. So this is a converter. I can't actually remember what let's have a look. There we go. Can you see that? There we go. Perfect. So I have a lot of these that I sort of have laying around that I take with me to the data center. And the reason that I do that is because obviously one end goes into your laptop charger and the other end goes into the rack where you have power in the rack. So what that allows you to do is to charge your laptop, because you're going to need your laptop to do things like test for connectivity. Which brings me to my next most important thing. And a lot of people that have dealt in data centers will realize how important this one is. When you get new hardware, specifically certain brands, I'm not going to name any brands, they come with statically assigned IPs. So you plug them into a switch, you plug them into whatever you want, they already have an IP address on it. And unless your switch is on the same network or in the same network space, then you can't reach them. And in production, when you're racking and stacking something inside a data center, you don't want to be changing network addressing on your switch or changing port config and changing the networks available on your switches. So my nice and simple, easy way to fix that problem is to carry around a little cheap router. And this thing has got me out of many different situations. I plug my laptop into this router. I plug my device into the router as well with my handy cables that I always have with me when I'm at a data center. And then I'm able to be on the same network address space as the device, because I can set the network space on this. So if my device is 192.168.1.3, then I can go in and set this to 192.168.1.0 on a 24 network, /24 network. So that way I'm able to then configure that particular device by going to the web GUI or whatever I want. Then I can change it to the address that I want it to. Then I update it again on the router and I make sure it's all reachable. Then I plug it into the production switch on site. So that's enough about that. Don't forget to take one of these as well for one of your routers that you're going to plug in, because otherwise you won't be able to access it. The most important thing, actually, I told you that it was the router, but it's actually something for your ears. So I've got these Jabra earbuds that I've had for a long time, and they are awesome because they fit right into my ear. They are very good at noise cancelling. They last a long time, and obviously they're wireless. And I can't actually hear the fans and everything, or I can block a lot of the noise at the data center, which is really annoying. A lot of the time when you walk out of the data center, you just can't hear anything. So I've been wearing those lately and they're actually awesome. Next up on my list, little convenient things like chargers, USB-C chargers. I usually carry a few different types of converters as well, USB-C, USB-C to B or A or whatever it is, I can't remember. And a couple of USB-C chargers or USB, connections, cables, because a lot of the new out-of-band management things on HP, I think you can actually go via USB. So if you can, that's awesome. My most favorite out-of-band to configure is Dell iDRAX because you can do it via Bluetooth, and I think that is amazing. So shout out to Dell for doing that. What else do I have? I have my drill. So this is an impact driver. No one freak out because I'm not going to be using this on anything that is going to round the bolt. It's just for when we actually have a bit of problems here and there. It's good to have an impact driver just on hand. Sometimes cage nuts can be very old and a bit rounded because previous technicians somehow round the bolt and just leave it, which is fine because you can get them off anyway. A torch, because you never know when you need more light, and this is a good little compact LED torch. I'm not going to shine it into the camera. Those ones are very, very useful. I showed you before my stack of neatly tied up Ethernet cables, because you can never have too many Ethernet cables. My tech bits, I actually don't know what these are called in, normal sort of words. I call them tech bits because when I was doing my electrical apprenticeship, that's what we called them. I know maybe someone can tell me what they're actually called. My box of assorted screwdrivers. Ooh. So this is a bit boring, but you never know the lengths that you're going to need. It's always handy to have like a stubby one for getting into those little corners where you might have a rack nut or cage nut or something like that you need to get off. They're great when you have those little short stubby ones. Actually, maybe I'll just show you the short little stubby ones. So the stubbies, sit them. They're very, very handy when you're working on a cage. And the label maker, because labelers are awesome when you are trying to either move cables around and trying to not forget what they were plugged into, or when you're finished the job and you want to label all your servers so that the customer actually knows what you've put and where you've put it. I did have one more thing that I can't think of right now. What was it? There was something very important. Yes. Okay, so I'm actually using it now, but I've got a little screen that I use to watch myself on camera. You can probably see that I keep checking it while I'm checking if those items are going into focus. But basically I've got this little screen and I found it very useful lately. It's actually a device, a Ninja. It's called a Ninja. I use it to connect to my camera so I can view what I'm recording, because my camera doesn't have a flip out screen. And I've actually found that it's very useful with data centers because it has HDMI input. So if you're ever stuck in a situation where you're in a data room or something like that where you don't have a KVM, so a lot of data centers, as you guys might know, is they have a tray or a trolley that has a monitor, a keyboard and a mouse on it, and you can take it wherever you need to in the data center. But when you're working at smaller data centers, or maybe a customer that doesn't have that available, then you can get a bit stuck if you really, really need a monitor for some reason. And I found that this thing is amazing because I'll show you it. Basically, it's just a little screen that you can plug into, and then you can have your little out of band on there. And you're only ever going to need a set of IP or something so that you can access it in a different way. But it's really handy because it fits in my bag, and it works off battery. So you just have a couple of charged batteries and off you go. Have I forgotten anything else? I might have forgotten some stuff, but if you guys know of anything that I have missed, let me know in the comment section below. Maybe you can make my bag even more convenient than it is now. If you did like the video, please smash the like button, subscribe for more. I'm always doing sort of this type of stuff and a bit more cloud related stuff usually, but this was sort of something that I just thought of on the fly. And next time I see you, I'll be back in my old office with a nicer background, and instead of this half brick wall, half gyprock wall, or plasterboard, whatever you guys want to call it. I'll see you guys next time.